Welcome to Fantasy Football Hub. I'm joined today by Abdul, aka FPL Salah, who's having a grand old season so far, 203k in the world, but it was a raid. Now, you're coming back with a bang, Gameweek 17. Are you excited to have FPL back?
Yeah, I think so. I think now the World Cup's over. You start seeing FPL content everywhere. The juices are starting flowing again.
Yeah, it's time to get stuck back in. Today we're going to be building your current draft for 17. Back to front, goalkeepers, defenders, midfielders, forwards.
Yeah,
And we'll see how you get on. I'm excited to see what you've got in store. Wes already built his team for us, and he had a predicted points of 71.7 or something, I think. So I'll be interested to see, is your team as good? But go for it. Who's your goalkeeper? Who's your starting goalkeeper?
all right. So I've got. I'm going with two keepers, right? So I'll start off with the kind of obvious one. I've got like Danny Ward in goal, so I'm going to keep him.
Yeah.
He's only obviously got him for 4 million, less of decent fixtures, and obviously 4 million for a goalkeeper who's playing is great value. So Danny Ward is my first goalkeeper.
Locked in. Newcastle and Liverpool are tough enough, but then there's Fulham, Forest, Brighton, and Aston Villa, so you might get a wee opportunity there for a couple of clean
Yeah.
sheets. Who's your second goalkeeper?
So I've gone for Kepa Arrizabalaga. So obviously fitness pending, but he was injured before the World Cup. So I think he should be fine now. But obviously once we get all the news from the press conferences and that, I think he should be fine. And again, he's only 4.5 million, and that's a Chelsea defend. Chelsea defense for 4.5 million can't go much wrong. Rotates well with Ward. So yeah, if he's fit, he'll be in my team.
He certainly seems like the play because, as you say there, the rotation's important. You've got Bournemouth, Forest, then Ward will have Fulham, as I said,
Yeah.
Forest, Brighton and Villa. But even then, Kepa's going to have the Fulham Man City double, which is a questionable one, really. And then Palace, so like you're getting some. I just think they're the goalkeepers that you've went for, that
Yeah.
Wes has went
And
for.
Yeah, and the
Uh,
thing is, it's 9.5 million the goalkeepers. You know what I mean? It's great value as well. So yeah, it allows you to kind of pump more money into your kind of outfield players.
Speaking of outfield, first defender, who are we going for?
Okay, so I'll start with one which I think a lot will have is Cancelo.
Yeah.
I'm going with Cancelo in defence. I just think, I mean, I was thinking of maybe like going down to Walker, but I just think I'm going to stick with the kind of tried and tested safe Cancelo. Man City best defense in the league by far. So yeah, there's not really kind of much to I don't really have to explain too much about Cancelo really, do I?
No, it's more just I think with Man City that in 20 and 23 it's looking like
Yeah,
they've doubles. But if people are aware of that, then it's
brought
just
it
about
as
picking
well.
three City assets. And I think we know who one definitely is, who two probably is. In
Yeah,
fact, and Cancelo's probably three. I think we know who the three are, but we'll save it and see. Maybe you're
yeah.
going off the beaten track. So who's our second defender?
So I've gone for Reece James in defence. So again, fitness pending, but he's been training, John. I've seen a lot of videos of him in training. He looks fine. He is still yellow flagged in FPL, but I think he'll
Mm.
be fit to play. And as he said, Chelsea got a double game week in game week 19, so it makes sense to kind of go for at least two of their players. And I think the defence is where it's at with Chelsea. I don't really fancy much of their attackers in midfield or in the forward. So yeah, I've gone for Reece James and Kepa in defence.
Yeah, it's an awkward one with him going forward. It almost feels like I don't know. I feel like I've been switched off club football and I'm going to say something silly, but it feels like they're missing that kind of talisman or blatant FPL option. Like when you look at other major teams in the
Yeah,
league, there's
yeah.
like the standout picks. Whereas when I think of Chelsea, it's almost like this hodgepodge of like a million different players that are all like stars in their own right, but none of them are quite getting the points. It's just kind of weird.
Yeah,
But
you're totally right. That's the reason why I've kind of gone for the defence. I think Reece James is the best FPL asset. And then when you're looking at the midfield, you don't really know where the points are coming from. You look at their forward line, who's going to start. Havertz isn't exactly nailed. He is probably the best option, but yeah, it's a bit of a minefield in their attack.
Broya looked like he got a pretty nasty injury too, didn't he, recently?
Yeah, I heard about that actually. I heard that he got a quite nasty injury in one of their friendly games. So yeah, that's one to watch
Yeah.
out for.
I didn't look what it was, and it was a wee while ago, so there's definitely a report out there
Mhm.
that's saying what it is, but he was screaming. It was actually horrible to see, but thoughts are with him. I hope it wasn't an ACL. It looked like it was, but hopefully it wasn't. All right, Cancelo, James, who's up next?
Shall we just go through the defence first?
Yeah, we'll get the defence done. So who's our third
Yeah.
defender?
Right. So I've gone for Trippier. I think
Yeah.
obvious pick. I mean, I know Newcastle don't have any double game weeks coming up, John, but I just think I've got so much money invested in him. He's such good value. He is like kind of this year's, you could kind of say, Trent or
Mm.
Cancelo. He's the highest scoring, defender in the game. He is Newcastle are a much improved side. And yeah, there's not much to like about Trippier. He's got, Newcastle decent defense, and then he's good going forward as well. He's on direct free kicks. He can get assists. So yeah, I think he's pretty much nailed to my side, to be honest.
Trippier has 96 total points. Trent has 40. That tells you
Yeah,
everything you need to know about this season. Isn't that
yeah, it's been
mad?
an odd one, especially for Trent. It's been an absolute disaster for him.
I know. Hope we can turn it around.
Mm.
All right, fourth defender.
So Ben White.
Oh, Ben White.
So
Okay.
yeah, I've gone for Ben White. I mean, I was thinking maybe going for Gabriel, but I didn't have enough funds to kind of when we were looking at the rest of my squad. So Ben White at 4.5 million is perfectly fine, great option. He's totally nailed, and he's a lot more attacking this season, John. I mean, he's not been known for his kind of attacking exploits, in seasons past, but this season he has been, playing in a kind of new wing back ish role. So he's getting assists, and the Arsenal defense is solid. They've got a double game week in game week 23. So again, he's fine there just for he probably won't play every game. Probably rotate him a little bit, but
Mm.
yeah, I don't think you can go wrong with Ben White.
Yeah. No, 4.7, isn't he? That's nice and cheap.
Yeah.
Who's our last defender?
Okay, so I've gone for Bueno from Wolves. He's 3.9 million. So this is more of like obviously, a kind of budget play. I did need, that zero point 0.1 million to kind of build this kind of squad that I've got.
Mm.
So I just think, yeah, he might get starts for Wolves. He'll be my third. He'll be my third bench player, so he probably won't be needed as much. So yeah, there's not much risk there.
Yeah, no, I like it. Your team actually so far is the exact same as Wes's, apart from White. He went for Gabriel, so you've got
Oh,
point
yeah,
5 in the
good.
bank that he doesn't. So I'm interested to see
Okay.
how you differ going forward. I just want to remind people that there is 30% off Hub memberships. The minute you can use this tool, My Team, and all the other tools and all the other bits and bobs you can see along the top of this. There's the toolbox, team reveals, articles, there's the community. There's all sorts going on in here, including all these tabs where you can see your recommended transfers, the best teams for each week, etc. 30% off using the link in the description, and you'll also get 12 days off because it's Christmas. So you will get 12 days off and the 30% using the link below. All right, first midfielder, who are we looking at?
Okay, so I'll go for the obvious one. I'm going for Mo Salah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I love that you say the obvious one because a lot of people will go De Bruyne, but you've went Salah. A lot of people will probably go both as well.
Ah,
But
right, okay. See,
but
the thing is, I've not actually. I mean, I've just pretty much gone to FPL mode last night, so I've not seen any drafts on Twitter or anybody else's team.
that's how we want
So,
it because then it's just your unbiased opinion, not been sort of
exactly, yeah. So well, I mean, I don't know how many teams you've seen, but I would assume that majority of people would have Salah. But yeah, I guess we'll see. You're right because
yeah.
I think some might go De Bruyne instead, especially with City's double game week coming up.
Yeah. It's maybe not as shocking as I made it out. As I say, I've literally just switched back into FPL mode. The World Cup final was last night,
Yeah.
and I've only talked to Wes this morning. That's why I keep bringing him up, because I kind of talked to him, talking to you, I'm
Mm.
talking to Bakar, I'm talking to a couple of other people today. And he went De Bruyne, and I've had it in my head that I want De Bruyne because of the double game weeks, and also just that I want him big time. I think he'll be absolutely ready to go for City, obviously raging from the World Cup. I don't know. I feel like I've wanted De Bruyne for a while, and I feel like I finally have the excuse. But Salah's obviously a top pick as well, and he was in
Yeah.
better form towards the sort of latter stages of
He
the
was. He
like
was.
sort of the later game weeks leading up to the World Cup. But anyway, you've gone Salah. Your name is FPL Salah. It all makes sense. Was De Bruyne a big consideration, or
Not really, because it's just because of my other City midfielder that I've gone for. So
oh well, that'll explain it.
I think you can
Who
probably
is that?
guess it. To take a guess,
Foden.
yeah, it's Foden. So I think Foden's better value than De Bruyne. I just think he's almost £4 million cheaper.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I'd rather have Foden as my kind of third City player than De Bruyne and have Salah there. So yeah, I think the value's in Foden. So, but yeah, again, I'm not saying De Bruyne is a bad option, but that's the way I'm going.
Yeah, no, I like it, and I do think if I knew Foden was nailed and was going to play all the time, I'd pick Foden
Mhm.
every day because I think the value's there. I don't know. I'm not saying I'm 100% on De Bruyne because if I can see something or try and have a guess that Foden will get a lot of minutes. See some comments from Pep or whatever. I think I go Foden, but I think if I don't really know anything, I just really like De Bruyne. I always like De Bruyne. I want to have him, and it's like double game weeks are the perfect excuse. But anyway, this isn't about my draft. This is about yours. So you've got Salah, you've got Foden. Who's our third midfielder?
Right, so I'm going for Martinelli. So I'm keeping Martinelli, but he may become Rashford. I'm not sure yet, but I've got Martinelli there for now. So he is the player. So I've got money kind of invested in him, and I think Arsenal have been great this season. The reason why I'm a wee bit kind of hesitant on him or considering Rashford is because with Gabriel Jesus out, I think he's been kind of pivotal in the way Arsenal have been playing this season. The way he kind of holds the ball up, brings others into play. So I don't know if they'll be as good as they were before pre-World Cup, but I think they'll be fine. I think and Ketty is a good player, a good substitute, and I think Martinelli is a great value as well. So at the moment, I've got Martinelli as my third midfielder.
Martinelli's very much one of those cases where I feel like he's been good. He hasn't been incredible, but we're all obviously holding on to him because he's playing. We got him at a price where he's outperforming that price, but maybe he isn't necessarily outperforming his current price. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe people disagree. But I almost feel like depending on how he goes, if he went in a run of 2, 3, 4 blanks, it gets into sunken cost fallacy where you're starting to think like, I can't get rid of him because I've got 500,000, I've got 1 million of value built up, when really you need to just forget about what you've built up and the potential value you will lose and think of the best option. But
I think when a player isn't performing, you don't. I think you kind of throw that value out the window. But I just think at his current price, even the price he's at now, he's providing that excellent value.
Yeah.
If that stops again, as I'm saying, we don't know how Arsenal are going to kind of pick up again. So if that does stop, then he probably will be on the chopping block. But I think for now he's fairly safe, and then Arsenal got a double game week in 23 as well. I
think the large majority of us will be keeping him anyway. Fourth midfielder time.
So I'll go for Andreas. I'll go for the obvious one first. I think, again, his value 4.5 million. Fulham have got a double game week in game week 19, and he's probably the best 4.5 million midfielder we've had in a good few seasons. John, he can score and assist, so he's got the attacking threat there, and he's just kind of allows. He's an enabler as well, isn't he? He allows kind of other upgrades in your team, so he's absolutely nailed in my team.
Love it. Next up.
Yeah, so Almiron is my fifth midfielder. So I've not had him in my team yet this season. So, he's been so highly owned. He's been, detrimental to my rank, up until now. And I just think, again, his price is 5.8 million. I don't think he's going to, carry on, at the same kind of finishing rate and the same form that he is at the moment. But I just think even at 5.8 million, even if he doesn't, even if he kind of halves that, output, I still think he's worth it. And I can't really see anybody in and around that price range who is, as good value as him. So even though Newcastle haven't got a double game week, I still fancy him. But just to say, he's not totally nailed in my team yet. Just because the double game week's coming up, I might kind of look elsewhere. But for the time being, he's in. I just think he's good value at his price.
Yeah, no, I think obviously it'd be very hard to keep up with the rate he's going, but if he can keep up any sort of percentage of that, he'll be doing well at that price. Onto the forward line. Can I just put Haaland in, or do we have to talk about him?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I mean, the given, isn't it?
Captain.
He's broke the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'll be my captain as well. Yeah, I guess so.
It just has to.
I mean, he's been resting. He's not had a World Cup either. He'll be absolutely raring to go. So there's no doubt around him at all.
Yeah, and I mean, De Bruyne back on the training pitch with him early in the competition. I mean, if Belgium had went on and win it or something, sounds hilarious to say that now, but like if they'd have went deep in the competition, as a lot of people thought they might have, maybe they wouldn't have been training as much and whatever else. And I'm not going to say it would have had a massive impact, but those little incremental gains, those wee 1%, 2%, the fact him and De Bruyne have been there just raging at training, watching all these other, like they're the biggest, one of the biggest, like top 2, top 3, top 4 clubs in the world. And they're like, I'm sitting there, I was about to say the top club in the world, and then you think, okay, oh shit, there's PSG, there's Real Madrid, there's Barcelona. Anyway, my point is, they're sitting there at home raging, watching all these lads, Mbappe's and Messi's doing their thing. So I can't wait to see what they do. Boxing Day, they're going to rip someone a new one. It'll be Leeds, isn't it? Leeds is their game, isn't it?
Yeah, so, Leeds on Monday.
9.2 predicted points. Let's see if he can exceed that. Who is your second forward?
So Darwin Núñez.
Okay.
So yeah, so I've gone for double Liverpool attack. I just think he was a player I really wanted, in the past few game weeks, but I just didn't have enough money to get him in, and he's going to be nailed in that forward line.
Mm.
Now, again, Uruguay went out in the group stages, so as far as coming back and being ready for the Boxing Day games, I think he'll be fine, and I just think he's again great value, probably another player who's kind of nailed in my team.
People might notice there's a small green arrow below me. I'm still ranked at literally 1,007,000th or something. But I had Nunez.
Plenty of time to get back in.
I had Nunez in game week. Was it 16? Back
Yeah.
at the start, I had Nunez there, and he got a goal and an assist or 2 goals. So he did really well. I forget what he did so long ago now, but so he's in my team as it stands. I don't know if he'd stay though. But you've got a few million left. Who's your last forward?
So Mitrovic is my third forward. I just think, again, Fulham got a dull game week, got a 19, and he probably would have been in regardless. John, he's 6.5 million I got him for. 6.5 million, 6.8 million now, but he's one of the best value forwards in the game. I think he's nailed to start 90 minutes on penalties. And I think he's going to, do well throughout the season as well. Now, again, Serbia went out in the group stages. He had a little injury going into the tournament, so he's had plenty of time to recover from that as well. And yeah, I just think, I mean, with all these players though, I think we'll get more information on, any niggling injuries or who's coming back in time for the Boxing games when we hear the press conferences. But I think he should be fine.
Mitro's on fire. Did you see them singing that to him in the stadium, the basketball stadium?
I did actually. I didn't know.
He went to watch a basketball game in his home country, I think, and the whole stadium was Metro's on fire. They were all giving it, or they were singing, so they were going. It was the most awkward.
Yeah,
thing
he's
ever
a legend. He's a legend back in his own country, isn't he?
He is, but it was one of the most awkward things I've ever seen, right? Because the whole stadium was going mad, and you could see him kind of really a wee bit awkward and nervous, and kind of really get up and give it this, right? The people sat round and were just on their phones and stuff. Not even reacting. I was like, this is a bit weird. Surely you buy in and have a bit of crack. They were acting as if it wasn't happening. It was weird. Anyway, tell me your bench here. Out of these, who's starting for you?
So Andreas Bueno, and I guess I don't know actually. Yeah, Andreas Bueno and White will be on the bench, I think.
All right, and then Ward on the bench, obviously against Newcastle versus Arrows. But
so kind of always again fitness pending. I think Kepa will be fine, but yeah, he'll be playing.
So with your team as is, you've got an 89% team rating, which looks ahead up to 5 game weeks. The game week rating specifically, you've got 82%, which seems quite low actually, and 63.6 predicted points. Are you happy with that?
I guess so. I mean, I think predicted points, I guess it depends on the actual average, but yeah, I guess it sounds high enough. I think the way my last few game weeks have gone, I'd probably take it.
You would take it. Okay, well look, best of luck with it. I wish you all the best. I hope you have a great Christmas as well, and everyone watching does. There's 30% off Hub if you click the link in the description, and you get 12 days free with that as well. Like the video before you go, and do subscribe to us. You can find Abdul at FPL Salah on Twitter. You can find me at John Nellis. All good, Abdul?
All good, mate.
All right, see you later.
Guys, see ya.
Bye-bye.